My longtime boyfriend finally bought a gorgeous bouquet of red roses, but it was for another woman. How do I overcome this betrayal? Completely shattered and heartbroken as I'm typing this. Yesterday, I, 28 female, found out in the most cruel way that my longtime boyfriend, 28 male of 6 years, has been unfaithful. For the past couple of months, he's been really distant and spending more time than usual at work. I chalked it up to stress since he started a new job recently. However, I started getting suspicious when all of a sudden he started following this gorgeous woman on Instagram who also returned his follow. I curiously asked him who she was, and he replied saying she was just an old school friend, which didn't make a lot of sense since her bio said she was 24 years old, which doesn't place them in the same school year. I'm sorry, how do you know if your boyfriend added someone new and he added her back? How do you know that? I just had this nagging feeling that something was off, and so I decided to stalk this woman's social media. On her Facebook, she had set her status to single and would regularly repost photos of women holding huge red rose bouquets, saying how every single girl deserves roses and how much she loves receiving flowers. I had a bad feeling about her and developed an obsession with checking her social media accounts daily. I kept doing that until all my worst fears were brutally fulfilled yesterday. As I checked her Facebook, I came across what I thought was just another one of her flower posts. That was until I took a closer look at the photo. It was a photo of a man's hand which was holding a bouquet of red roses for her as she caressed the flowers. The man's hand had the exact same Apple Watch that I had bought my boyfriend and that he was wearing daily, and a mole on the exact place where he has one. I could also tell it was him as he has naturally hairy hands. The woman's status was also changed from single to in a relationship. I'm sorry, people our age update their relationships on Facebook still? Okay, never mind. Finding out that my boyfriend was not only cheating on me, but also bought a bouquet of flowers for another woman when he never did for me completely shattered me. I haven't confronted him yet, but I've been avoiding him. It's not that hard since he barely pays me any attention these days. I know that there is no coming back from this, and this will be the end of what I thought was a lifetime relationship. I feel a lot of grief and heartbreak, but I also feel a lot of rage. How do I even overcome this? I just can't get his betrayal out of my mind.
My ex-fiance ditched me at the altar, and now he wants to meet up with me. Story time. So this all happened 2 years ago. Me and Steve were supposed to be getting married, and quite simply, Steve just didn't turn up in the morning. My family were a little bit worried because none of the groomsmen could find him. They started calling him and he wasn't answering their phone calls. So I was like, he's probably just really overwhelmed. I'll give him a call. You know, wife vibes, I can talk him out of anything. So I didn't want to go through with anything, but because we'd literally paid thousands of pounds, we just kind of turned the evening into a party. So that night I got into the honeymoon suite and I cried on the bathroom floor for hours. So what felt like hours of being on the bathroom floor, my mother-in-law came to me and she informed me that she had in fact heard from Steve. You'll never bloody believe this. Steve had decided he was gonna go back to his ex-girlfriend. So apparently he'd met up with her a week prior to the wedding and decided that the morning of our wedding would be a great time to run away with her. Steve's mum was absolutely bloody mortified, and I only ever really spoke to his mum and his family. That was until literally 3 months later, and he rang me to apologise. Isn't that nice? Steve tells me on the phone that Amy, the ex-girlfriend, had rang him the week before to tell him something that she had kept from him this whole time. And granted, she mentioned that she did know that we were getting married. Amy tells Steve that she had actually gave birth to her son. Woo! She said that when they broke up, she was actually pregnant, but she didn't realise until a few months later. She said that she had been raising this baby on her own till now. What great timing. Steve had decided that he wanted to give it a go of being a happy family. Woo! What a great dad. And look, this woman, she was too soon to speak. I didn't say a single thing on the phone. I was just absolutely blown away. I think it was like, hello? Didn't say anything. So, to try and, new me, new life, whatever, I moved myself to the US. I wanted to get away from the bullshit, And I've been living my peaceful girl life. And that was until literally last night. Gets a request on Instagram. It's Steve. It basically said like, hi, I'm in the US for work. I'm in your area. I'd really love to chat to you and explain to you the run up to everything and how it all went. Let me know and I will take you out for lunch. I don't know how he's found my address. Do I want to meet up with him? Do I just want the free meal? I don't even know at this point if he deserves the opportunity to explain himself to me. I just want to live my hot girl party in the USA life. So what do you think?
Am I in the wrong for not apologizing for having intercourse in my own living room? I, male 28, and my fiance, female 26, are writing this together. Obviously, we're engaged, but we have lived together in my house for 2 years now, longer than we've been engaged. I have a brother, male 27, Ryan, and Ryan has a fiance, girlfriend, mother of his kids, Erica. Erica and him met in high school and they had their first child when they were 17. They have had 2 more children since then. For a while they were separated and then together and then separated again. Honestly, I can't keep up with them. Erica is also the problem. I know I sound biased because Ryan's my brother, but everyone in the family agrees. She's not a likable woman. She's argumentative, rude, and entitled. She constantly starts arguments with Ryan or her own children at holidays and seems to think that she deserves everything Ryan has ever done or accomplished because they have 3 kids. Erica also took an especially rude attitude towards my fiance for whatever reason. My fiance wants me to emphasize this here. Erica is an effing B if you haven't gotten that. Her words, not mine. Well, with that being said, my fiance and I often babysit Ryan and Erica's kids, on weekends or at nights when they work or just whenever they need. Erica's cordial enough to my fiance when she's asking for babysitting, but other than that, they don't talk. And I think that they both prefer it that way. My fiance wants me to note here that it's not just us who have the issues with Erica. It's my sister and her own brother as well. So last week, my fiance and I went out to our favorite restaurant after work, had some drinks at the nearby bar, and went home around 11:30. We were both a little drunk in our own home with a locked door and decided that the bedroom was just too far of a walk, and we started to undress on the couch. 5 minutes later, my fiance is in a much more exposed state than I am. Suddenly, we hear keys at the front door. Like scorned teenagers, we jump up. My fiance sprints around the corner to the hallway, leaving her clothes everywhere on the floor. Luckily, I still have my jeans on, so when Erica comes in with her 11-month-old, I'm just desperately trying to hide a raging boner, but not too exposed. I can hear my fiance around the corner half laughing, half sobbing of embarrassment, and just looking at Erica like, "Since when the F do you let yourself into my house?" Erica looks at me, looks at the clothes on the floor, looks around for my fiance, and then just walks out and slams the door shut. After that, we got a spew of angry text messages. Erica told us that we were being indecent people with no class or integrity, that my fiance should still respect herself more by not being so open about her sex life, and that she will not be returning to our house with her children as it's obviously not a safe space. I asked Erica how she even got a key to our house and what she was doing coming in unannounced in the first place, and her answer was that she took the key from Ryan, and they were fighting and she needed my fiance to watch the baby while she figured everything out. She said that we would never watch her kids again. Obviously, when my fiance was pissed at basically being called a hoe, she's very hurt that Erica claims that she'll keep the kids from her. My fiance loves the kids a lot, and she really likes having them. When I saw how upset this made her, even though I think it's empty threats, I texted my brother. The texts I received from Ryan seemed like they were written by Erica, but honestly, I can't be sure. It seems that they're both now holding a grudge on what would be an issue if Erica would just stop being entitled. Ryan said that if we apologize to Erica for what happened, then likely she'll forgive us. My fiance was ready to swallow her pride and just apologize, but I refuse. I don't think we did anything wrong. So my question is, are we in the wrong, or more accurately, are my fiance and I the a-hole?
I discovered that my boyfriend is cheating after buying him an expensive Christmas gift. I, 25 female, discovered that my boyfriend, 26 male, had been cheating on me for the past 5 months. I was really devastated and felt a lot of rage inside me, especially after buying him a new PlayStation 5 since he wanted one but couldn't afford it. I was saving up a lot of money to buy him the console with some games. We've been dating for 3 years and living together for a year and a half. I immediately kicked him out after his sad girl messaged me apologizing, not knowing that he had a girlfriend. I didn't believe her because I trusted my boyfriend a lot, but she came with receipts. There were a lot of messages where he flirted with her and sent nudes. I was disgusted, really disgusted. The worst part is when I confronted him, he didn't even try to deny it and call me boring. He insulted me a lot, saying I was no fun and he deserves better. I was really enraged, and for the first time, I slapped him. He was shocked, so was I, because I was never violent with him and always tried to solve things quietly, but he made my blood boil. I started screaming at him that he doesn't do anything around here and never paid rent because he's a lazy, jobless piece of who can't even bother looking for a decent job. At one point I mentioned how he will never get the PS5 that I bought for him and I'll return it to the store. He looked like a deer in headlights. That bastard. He immediately changed his attitude and acted sorry, started apologizing and crying, saying he never meant to cheat and promised he would make it up to me. He is such a disgusting pig. He never cared for my feelings. He only cared when I mentioned something he wanted. Such hypocrisy. I wasted no time and kicked him out. He's still sending me a lot of text filled with apologies and even an ugly photo of him crying. I told him not to waste his time because he won't get the PS5. We're done. Then I blocked him. I won't take the PS5. I already have one, but I remembered that my parents were planning on buying it for my little brother. The plan was going to be them buying the PS5 and I will buy the games for it with the extra PS Store gift cards, but looks like I'll give my parents a call and tell them there's a change of our plans for my brother's gift. It's amazing. I celebrated Christmas with my family, my parents, and little brother. My parents cooked the best food, so I ate well after not having an appetite for a few days. It was wonderful. As for my parents' agreement about the gift, we agreed on something. I'll give the PS5 and games to my brother. My parents bought an Oculus for my brother's new PS5 and other accessories for the console. When the time came for the presents, I was shocked to learn that my brother got me an expensive gift. He got me some makeup from Sephora and a gift card. My parents then informed me that my brother was saving for my gift since the beginning of the year. I cried. I literally started bawling my eyes out, then I gave him a big hug. My baby. I thanked him a lot for the gift and said that I loved him. When he opened my parents' present, he was really confused and then stated that he doesn't have a PS5 for this Oculus. I told him to open my gift. When he opened it, he started crying and immediately hugged me. I don't know what came over me and I started crying with him. I really, really love my brother. He's a sweet little boy and a good behaved kid. He's 12, by the way. That's why he deserved every gift he got. It was expensive, yes, but it was worth every penny to see him happy. After we all opened our gift, I helped him set up the PS5 in his room and played some games together. Suddenly, he tells me that he loves me and I'm the best big sister in the world. But the third time, I started crying. So yeah, there you have it. I had the best Christmas with my family, and seeing my brother so happy was worth the heartbreak I went through. As for my garbage ex, he's still making new accounts on Instagram to apologize. I told him to off, and I know that he's only apologizing because he wants the PS5, not because he's feeling guilty. I mentioned that I gave it to someone who deserves it way more than he does. He started cursing at me, and I said if he didn't leave me alone, I'll report him to the police for harassment. He stopped after that, and I never heard from him ever since.
Am I wrong for bringing my sister's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? Story time. Great start. So my sister-in-law, who we will call Amy, often comes to visit us because she lives quite a way off. And we always let her stay with us instead of her getting a hotel. And whenever she comes round, she always wants to go to the most expensive restaurants in our area, which would not be an issue if she didn't forget her purse every single time we went out. They are the worst types of people, I swear. And she will always come up with some sort of random excuse as to why she can't pay her share. She's also implied on many occasions that since I make more money than her, I should be the one to pay all of the bill. Yes, I do make a fair amount of money, but not enough to treat this girl every single time she comes to stay. So there has been a few times now where I just couldn't be bothered with the argument and I've paid the bill and I've just said, pay me back over time or whenever you can. Have I seen that money? No. So last night we went out for a meal and she booked it. She made a reservation at, again, this super expensive restaurant. And I made it very clear before we left that I would not be paying the bill this time. So this is where I might be the arsehole. I put her purse straight into my handbag and we headed off to the restaurant. Once we were done eating, I took the liberty of asking for separate bills, though hers would be on a specific bill. And at this point, Amy starts panicking. She's like, what are you talking about? We just need one bill. Whoa. Right. She's like, no, we need one bill. I'm really sorry. I forgot my purse. And it was at that moment that I reached into my bag. And I was like, oh, you mean this purse? She hit the ceiling. Girlie was livid. She said I had absolutely no right touching her wallet or stealing it. Honey, do we not feel like steal is a pretty large word? So what do you think? Am I wrong here?
Am I the asshole for asking my fiance not to hang out with his female coworkers? Disclaimer is not my story time. Send me on Instagram. So send me your stories on Instagram. Fiance and I have been together for 3 years. He has never had a girlfriend before me. Never wanted to be in a relationship because he thought it would tie him down. When we first started hanging out, I told him that I definitely wanted a relationship and that I was looking for something serious. He told me that he was open to the idea. 4 months into the relationship, he still didn't want to call himself my boyfriend or me his girlfriend. Whenever we would go out together, he would always claim that I was his girlfriend to people. So that let me know that he liked me, but he wasn't ready for like a serious relationship. This is around the time when I brought up monogamy and he agreed that we should just be exclusive. And when he said that he wanted to be exclusive, I said that maybe we should just be boyfriend and girlfriend then. This is when he hesitated but said, okay, fine. At first I felt guilty for trying to rush him into a relationship, but if you're trying to cuff me up for 6 months, I need to know that you're going to be serious about me, which is fair enough. He was finally introducing me as his girlfriend. He also started posting me on his Instagram and his story. All of this made me feel really secure about the relationship, which was great. It's been a couple of years now and the relationship is pretty good. We really don't have a lot of conflicts except that he has a job that requires him to travel. He was actually offered a position where he doesn't have to travel, but it means that he has to move. That's when he asked me if I would be willing to move with him. Now, I never thought I would leave my hometown. I love where I live, my family is there, and I'm extremely close to my family. He made it really clear that he did not want a long-distance relationship. So essentially, I had to choose between breaking up or staying with him. I decided to move so that we could be together, but now I kind of regret it. His new job is great, he's earning a lot of money, I'm studying online. This means I'm home most of the time. It also means that it's been hard for me to make friends, but he on the other hand has amazing coworkers. Most of them are male except for 2 females. One is significantly older than him, and then the other one is about 5 years older than him. And his coworkers love going out after work, especially on the weekend. They all love to get together. Now, I have met his coworkers and the 2 women. The younger one is definitely a little bit flirty with him. When I noticed that she was flirting with him in front of me, I asked him if he'd gotten the feeling that she was attracted to him. He said no, but sometimes I see that she messages him after work. She'll offer to give him rides. At this point, we don't have a car because we just moved here. I told him I had a big problem with that and that she needed to stop messaging him, especially offering him rides. This is when he told me that I needed to stop being jealous. To me, it has nothing to do with jealousy. It's all about respect. I moved away from my family to be with him, and I expect him to respect me too, which means not hanging out with young female coworkers. A few days ago, I come home from the gym and he's getting ready to go out. When I asked him what he was doing, he said he was going to go to the bar with his friends. I asked him if the girl would be there and he said yes. But here's my problem. He didn't even invite me. He also didn't tell me he was going to the bar. I had to ask him where he was going. I asked him not to go to the bar because we hadn't spent a lot of time together, got really angry and left anyway. He didn't care that I was crying, he still left. When he came back from the bar, he was kind of drunk and started apologizing. He told me that he was an asshole and that he shouldn't have done that, but he told me that he doesn't want to single her out or make her feel bad because they all work together and they're all coworkers. So essentially he's saying that he's still going to hang out with her if she's around. So I packed my bags and came home. My parents don't want me to go back. What hurts me the most is that he hasn't been looking for me. Should I break up with him or should I give him another chance?
Am I in the wrong for deciding to quietly change my will without telling my wife? My 34 male wife, 32 female, and I just had our first baby today. We were in the delivery room, all was going well, and I was holding her hand trying my best to be supportive. She was in labor and experiencing irregular contractions that she said weren't painful yet. I told her how much I loved her and that she was doing great, but made sure not to talk too much either. All of a sudden, my wife tells me, "Please get out." I asked her what happened, and she says she just doesn't want me there right now. I stand there in surprise for several seconds, after which the midwife tells me to get out or she'll call security. I feel humiliated. Not only was I banned abruptly from watching my child's birth, but it was under the threat of force. Throughout our marriage, I've suspected my wife wouldn't be with me if it wasn't for my job and the family background. Her eyes don't light up when I come home from work. I start our long hugs and she ends them early. Her eyes wander when I'm talking to her. I don't think she loves me nearly as much as I love her. I'm not accusing her of being a gold digger. She may love me on some level, but I don't know that she's ever been in love with me. If I die tomorrow, I don't know if it would take her very long to move on. I live in a state where the right to an elective share is 25% of separate property. We don't have a prenup, so this means that my wife has a right to at least 25% of my separate property if I die, even if I were to disinherit her in my will. I've decided to will her 30% of my separate property, was previously 100%, and 100% of our communal property if I die. The rest of my separate property, including income-producing assets and heirlooms, goes to my children and other family members. So, am I in the wrong?